What if you could make your very own phone stand, or maybe make some parts around your house to fix some broken stuff, or maybe even make these epic Star Wars helmets, all from the comfort of your own home? Well, that's what 3D printing offers you. In this video, I'm going to show you why now is the best time to get into 3D printing and what you can do with it in some real life examples. Whether you're looking to get into cosplay or maybe some home DIY around the house, or maybe you're just looking for a really fun hobby to get into, I'm going to give you some real examples that I've used my 3D printer for. Also, I'm going to give you a few tips and what I would recommend on how to get started in 3D printing. Now, by no means is there one path to get started in 3D printing. Everybody has to take their own journey with it. I know I've taken mine, but at least I can give you some advice. Anyway, guys, my name's Mike and I've been 3D printing for years. I actually got started with resin printing, but it was during that COVID time. I was locked in my apartment and I needed something to do. My first filament printer was actually a CRS-10 Pro V2. And the experience wasn't memorable, or I guess it was, but not in a good way. But right now, guys, I'm here to tell you that I'm printing props, cool stuff around my house, stuff that just brings joy to people. That's what I really enjoy. I've been printing a lot of dinosaurs and stuff for my niece. She loves them. I recently completed some epic builds that I'll show you guys here in a little bit. And I'm just so excited to show you guys about 3D printing. My channel is focused about the beginner 3D printer. So if you guys are liking what you're seeing, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and comment down below what you guys would like to see in future videos. But anyway, let's get right into it. 3D printing is like giving yourself this superpower in your daily life. Maybe you need a gift. Well, you know what? You can look at something customized now and give that as a gift. Now, I would be careful because not everyone likes 3D printing gifts. Or maybe you need something around your house. Well, now you can activate that superpower, right? Print that part. You don't need to go buy it online. Print that part and you got it. Or maybe you want some sort of replica lightsaber. You want a replica helmet. You can print it, you can make it. It's giving you the power to do so. Maybe not even for, someone else, but you want a key holder at home and, you're not really sure where to start. You don't like these wood looks, or you don't like something. Maybe you find a Mario key holder online that someone already made. You print it and boom, you got something customized for your own home. Or a Star Wars one, right? There's really so many different files out there that people have already made that you can 3D print. Or maybe you need a bracket for a web camera. If you just search webcam brackets, just so many different ones come up for so many different webcams. And maybe you even use those resources first before you buy the webcam to make sure you can mount it. Or if you're feeling really brave, you can go ahead and start 3D modeling yourself, right? You can go into Tinkercad, I think it's Fusion, and just model things that you didn't have available to you before and just upload them to your 3D printer. Now, personally, I never thought I would have some epic piece in my house, but now I have a lifelike, realistic looking battle droid just sitting here in my garage. That's something never in my wildest dreams did I think I would have a practically real battle droid. This is like a dream come true. It walked right off the battlefield after trying to shoot at some Gungans on the Battle of Naboo. It's just mind-blowing to me, and it makes me feel like a little kid every single time I walk into my garage and look at it. Now let's talk about some stuff that people get wrong about 3D printing just right off the bat. People say it's expensive. I would argue right now is like the best time ever to get into 3D printing. The technology has come so far, and for less than the price of a game console, you can get a 3D printer that's gonna do everything you want. The next thing that I would say is just flat out wrong is people say you need to know how to design or 3D design. You don't need to. There are so many files out there for free right now on the internet. There's paid ones, there's free ones, there's so many different programs to help you along with your 3D printing journey that you don't need to know 3D modeling at all. And a lot of people will say it's too technical or too hard. That's just not true. It's very easy to learn now, especially with the way printers are. Most printers, you just plug them in and they work. It goes through a little bit of a calibration period and then you're set. Gone are the days when you're sitting there tinkering with 3D printers for like hours and hours on end. I will say with my very first filament printer, it was just crazy. I never really got that thing to work and I felt so ashamed of myself because I wasted $600 on this printer where I probably got one good successful print off that thing. So recently I've been using my 3D printer for quite a few things. I just earlier mentioned the life-size battle droid, which was a project I completed earlier this year. And now I'm using it to print a few other things. One of the projects that was actually one of my very first 3D prints I just had shown in my garage was actually this Mandalorian helmet, and I went ahead and finished it recently. I also have a video up on the channel on how I did this as well. And who doesn't love Lego? I printed this Lego blaster. It's just like a blast from the past, my childhood. Like, look at this thing. Pew, 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 pew. Something fun, but a little more practical. We got some T-Rex pen holders. Like, you know, you might ask why, but I say, why not? And currently I'm in the middle of finishing this Scout Trooper helmet. Like, this is going to be awesome. You know, you can make everything as real as you want. You can make it as fake looking as you want. The possibilities are endless with 3D printing. You know, I use mine for more cool props, but that doesn't mean that that's what you have to use your 3D printer for. Maybe you do have a product that you're working on designing, you want to 3D print it yourself and you want to upload it to the program and do so. You can do that. Maybe yours is more about home organization. You can look up Gridfinity, and I believe there's like a new hexagon organizational thing that you can do in your garage. If that's what you want to do, you can do it. And honestly, with this hobby, it also helped me break a bad habit. I think we've all had those habits before, but my habit, I was addicted to League of Legends. And guys, I wasn't even good at the game. I just really enjoyed playing the game, but you know, I kind of got brain rot, I feel, from that. You know, I do think video games can be good in moderation, but I was sucked into that thing. And I think with 3D printing, it's now allowed my brain to engage in more creative aspects of life. And honestly, I attribute breaking my League of Legends habit to 3D printing. Here's going to be my recommendations for what you should pick up for your very first 3D printer. So my top recommendations, of course, are going to be the Bambu Lab A1, or if you don't need something that big, the Bambu Lab A1 Mini. And then you also have the Bambu Lab P1S. Those are going to be the three printers that I think are great for beginners. So that's why I think you should 3D print. It's fun, it's creative, it engages your mind. You know, you can make all these fun things. You know, you have something to show your family. I know I kept my battle droid a secret from my father for like the longest time. I didn't tell him I was working on it for 2 months, just so I could see his reaction. Now we're gonna end this with some quick tips for beginners if you just got your first 3D printer, or maybe you just purchased your 3D printer. So let's go ahead and give you some quick tips. The first thing I'll recommend is join part of the community. There's tons of subreddits on Reddit that you can join and people give you feedback. Or maybe you're just having some trouble with your 3D printer and you're not really sure where to start on troubleshooting, then that's where you can go. Also, that's one of the reasons I do recommend Bambu Lab printers, is that they have a giant ecosystem of tips and how to replace parts and how to do all these things. And they usually just prompt you right on the 3D printer on how to fix something. The next thing is, don't try to be perfect when you're either maybe painting one of your big prop projects or doing cosplay. You know, no one is perfect, and it's extremely hard to let go of some of that sometimes. But when you're making a project, the mistakes you make, you learn from them and you take that in, you get better the next time. Every single time you make a new prop or you do something, you're going to get better. My battle droid is definitely not perfect. You know, there's imperfections that I'm seeing, but you know what? One day I will make another one and we'll go and we'll get this thing done and it'll be just way better. And if you have a failed print, don't give up. Everyone has failed prints. A lot of times, again, I'm not trying to glaze Bambu Lab or anything, but this is why I recommend their printers, is most of the time, if a print fails, it is your fault. So just learn from it. Maybe you just didn't wash your bed down because your finger oils got on the bed and it just didn't stick. You know, don't give up. So if you just decided to pick up a 3D printer, what is going to be the first thing that you 3D print? Let me know down in the comments below. But regardless of that, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment down below, subscribe. I would love to know what you guys want to see next. Hopefully you like the video quality now. I've spent a lot of time, you know, learning about lighting and all that. You know, we'll have more cinematic printer reviews as well when those come on the channel. A lot of that is just, you know, a change in progress, or actively changing, I guess that's what you would say. But anyway, guys, I really greatly, again, appreciate you guys for tuning in, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.